right, well, so begins part two of my video heading out to the Alabama Hills and the Death Valley National Park. So part one, as you guys seen, I was with Barry. We did this trip before the group with Ed because I wanted to make sure that trail was open and available after the flash floods that hit Death Valley a few months back. A lot of trails and a lot of roads were closed because of those flash floods. And I had no idea if this trail was going to be open and didn't want to take a big group along it, if there's going to be a problem halfway through the trail. So now that we've done the trail, we know it takes about 5 or 6 hours, give or take. I'm going to meet up with Ed Shin's Patreon group, and I am a Patreon member of Ed's. Highly recommend it. So I'm going to go back to Lone Pine. We're going to meet up there, decide where we're going to camp tonight, whether it's going to be in the Alabama Hills area or back here or somewhere in between. And so I'm going to shoot different things. It's not going to be the same video twice. And really looking forward to meeting up with Ed's Patreon group. That should be fun. And today I'm going to actually go out and explore one other mine area. If this site happens to be taken the night we come here, I want to have an option, and there's a mine site not too far away that's still on BLM land I want to check out on the way out of here. So I hope you enjoy this part 2 video with the Ed Shin Patreon group. Stay tuned. I'll show you where we land next. All right, well, I'm on that way to that alternate campsite, guys, and just even more Joshua trees in this area. Really cool. I don't know, just something about them I just really love. I guess because I grew up in Northern California, I never see these. So to me, they're super special. I'm sure people from Southern California and Arizona and the Southwest, this is no big deal. But to me, it's really cool to see these Joshua trees all over the place. So anyway, so I'm just headed out to this other alternate campsite, and see, it doesn't look too far away, so I'll let you guys know when I get there. All right, well, this is the alternate campsite I'd marked on Google Earth, guys, and it's an old mine site. I have no idea what they're mining here. But this actually, for a larger group, is perfect. Nice, fairly flat. I mean, it is sloping somewhat. You'll need to level out your rig in here, but wide enough for multiple rigs to fit in here. Got some old mining structures you could explore in here. And yeah, it's actually not that far from the boxcar. I think maybe it took me 15-20 minutes to get here. So some really cool rock walls off in the distance where they were mining. Some old vehicles. Yeah, very good alternate. In doing some online research, this area was known as the Lee Mines, which operated from the 1920s to the 1950s. The main ore of interest was silver and reportedly produced up to 22 ounces per ton during the later years of operation. The mining generally consisted of open pits or shafts, with the deepest shaft extending to a depth of 80 feet. After checking out the campsite, I headed back towards Lone Pine to meet up with the Patreon group. We met at the Eastern Sierra Visitor Center in Lone Pine, which I had passed many times but never bothered to visit. Staffed by a combination of U.S. Forest Service, National Park Service, BLM, and other employees, they provide visitor information for hiking, campgrounds, highway and weather conditions for the Eastern Sierras. I would highly recommend spending time to see their exhibits and learn more about this region. All right, well, I am on the road now with Ed Shin and some of the Patreon group, and we're meeting up with others who have already found a campsite for the night in the Alabama Hills area. And so I think there's about 7 vehicles in this group I'm in now. And I think we're going to be meeting up with a few others that already have the camp set up. So just an amazing view right now of Mount Whitney. And it's got to be in the 80s right now in the Alabama Hills. It's warm today. So anyway, it's great to see Ed again, and I'll definitely do a walk around the camp sometime today, maybe when it cools off a little bit. My first order of business is going to be to put up my awning. So yeah, it looks just like a beautiful day today, and great to meet all the Patreon group members with Ed, and just settle down in camp for the day.
I'll let you guys in first since I have the trailer.
Dude, that can fit about 4 rigs. That's part of this whole area too.
Roger that, Turtleback.
The camp area that was found was perfect for a large group of vehicles, and for an added bonus, was level enough to not require leveling blocks or rocks under your tires. There was every kind of make and model of vehicle you could imagine, including Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs. We had an awesome view of the Eastern Sierras, and we quickly got to know one another over the course of the late afternoon and evening.
So we got everybody starting to cook up their meals for the night. Got Victor over here cooking up some meat.
Okay.
Trail Boss Mafia.
Chicken.
He's got it going on. That guy's got a great YouTube channel. Everybody's breaking out the grills, and we're just cooking it up tonight, man. Looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome. All right, guys. Well, we are here at camp for the first night with Ed Shin's Patreon group. And man, it's been amazing. The group that came for this trip are just an amazing group of people. Really, really neat. And with all the rigs here right now, it's like a mini expo. There's just so many different rigs, so many different rooftop tents and ground tents, and just the way people have set up their vehicles. We've got a turtleback trailer here. Every tent you can imagine. So it's kind of like a mini expo, walking around seeing all the different rigs here. It's been awesome. So it's been a great time so far. We had a great potluck dinner tonight. Everybody cooked up some food, and we all shared a great meal together. And tonight I think we're just going to relax, kick back, maybe have a little bit of alcohol. I'm not sure, but it's been a fun time so far meeting up with the group. And they found a great spot out here. We are in the Alabama Hills, but not the area you typically think of the Alabama Hills. But it is a designated campsite. It has a campsite sign attached to it. So we're legit here for sure. We're in BLM land, and yeah, it's been great time. We've just had a terrific time camping here so far. And tomorrow we head out on the trail into Death Valley, and we'll bring you along on the ride for that as well. So stay tuned.
As nighttime settled over the camp, we gathered around the campfire. Having a wood campfire is one of my favorite things about overlanding, and will definitely be missed in a few short weeks when the summer season arrives. The Bronco Bar was definitely one of the high points of the evening, and the group had a great time telling some stories about the various events in their lives. After leaving camp, the group took a quick run along Movie Road, the main road leading through the Alabama hills and where many movies have been filmed over the years. It is unfortunate that the BLM has reduced the number of campsites in this area, with all locations west of Movie Road now day use only. If you plan to camp here, I would highly recommend arriving early and on a weekday. The next destination would be the little town of Darwin, California. Darwin is a little town with just a population of 40 to 50 people and was named after a local prospector in the area from the 1850s. The town was founded in 1874 and has had a post office presence since 1875. Just outside of town is the start of the trail to Panamint Springs. It should be noted that the majority of this trail is on BLM land, with approximately the last 1/3 of the trail within the boundaries of Death Valley National Park.
Okay, so we just stopped to air down. I'm using my JT Brooks tire deflators. And yeah, we got everybody airing down their vehicles, getting ready to go. Looks like a nice day out on the trail today. And this will be the direction we're heading. And this is the old toll road between Darwin and Panamint Springs. And it was really one of the only ways into Death Valley before the highway was built.
Just outside of Darwin, we came across our first mine known as the Ajax Mine. There is not much information available, but it is assumed based on other mines in the area the principal ores were silver, lead, and zinc. Because of the limited access, we had to bring 2 separate groups in to make the turnaround at the end of the spur road, but we made it work. This mine has an incredible view of the valley floor below and our ultimate destination far off in the distance to the north.
All right, guys, this is one of the mine sites along the trail, and you can see the pipe going up the hill. And pretty old structure here with some electrical work inside. Looks like a big fan belt of some sort, and a generator, perhaps. Not really sure. So I don't know. So maybe somebody can post in the comments. So is this pumping fuel or water? Maybe for hydraulic mining, I don't really know, but pretty interesting. So we're heading down to what's called China Garden Mine Site, and the story goes the name was given because in the 1800s Chinese immigrants were helping, dig out these mines, and as part of that they had a community down here that had a garden because there's a spring down here, and they would grow produce and sell the produce to the miners. So that's why it's called China Garden Springs, or China Garden Mine Site.
China Garden Springs is probably the most interesting stop along this trail, and most surprising of all are the goldfish or koi that are living in the small spring that exists here year-round. There is a small cooler for storage of koi food, and if you're planning a trip here, I would highly recommend bringing some koi food to resupply if empty. After leaving China Garden Springs, we climbed into elevation over the last mountain pass, that would drop us into Death Valley National Park. The ledge road we were on was fairly narrow, and I was a bit concerned about other vehicles coming up from the other direction, but it turned out we saw no other vehicles on this trail for the entire day. We did have a few spots that required some careful wheel placement, but everyone made it through just fine.
So we're airing up here today. My power tank is out of air, and so I'm using my little Vi-Air air pump, and it connects into the battery here. Pretty reliable. It's filled up 3 tires so far. I've used it multiple times when my power tank drops out of air. So, and that's what we have everybody else doing here today, is airing up. We're about to leave the trail. Okay guys, so we're here at Father Crowley Point, Vista Point in Death Valley National Park, and I'm with Neville, who's a professional photographer and does a lot of the photographs of the jets, the F-18s, the F-35s, whatever, that come through this canyon. So Neville, can you tell me a little bit about what you see and what you do when you're out here photographing?
Yeah, so it's really great. You can hear the flames. They're usually behind this mountain that's here, and they'll drop really low. They'll come all the way around. They'll swing wide, and then right as that lip is there, they'll dive into the canyon, and they'll go straight down to here. They'll go bank slight left, bank slight right, and then they'll usually take a left and go straight up in the air.
Wow. Yeah, it's such a cool canyon here, guys. It's just an incredibly deep canyon. It's just crazy to think these jets come flying through this narrow canyon here. Totally a Top Gun stuff, it sounds like. Really neat.
It's phenomenal to watch.
And then on the hillside above, it's totally green. I've never seen this, how green the desert is right now. It's just incredible. And the flowers are blooming like crazy. It's just stunning.
After taking in the views at the Vista pullout, we took some group photos with Telescope Peak in the background and also at the Death Valley National Park sign. After this, it was time to start making our way to the last camp for the night.
All right, so we are on the last stretch of the day. We are airing down to head into camp. We've seen all the sights there are to see in Death Valley and the BLM area. It's just been an awesome day. Great people in this group with Ed Shin today. And so we're airing down all our vehicles. I think we got 6 or 8 miles to get in to camp. About 4 p.m. I think last I looked. We left Lone Pine at 9 a.m. and that's the direction we're headed right now.
On our way to the final camp, we made a quick stop at the Boxcar Cabin where Trail Newbie decided to join our group at the last minute. This cabin is located on BLM land just outside of Death Valley National Park.
I would recommend putting yourselves in 4 high is fine, and sway bar disconnect. Okay. Sun setting, and it is a beautiful evening here in the desert. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful tonight with the Joshua trees out in the distance. We've got a fire here going. Neville's cooking up some amazing ribs tonight. My gosh, they are incredible. And just enjoying the evening. All right, so I'm here with Greg, also known as Trail Newbie, with his white JL, and Fred, his friend Fred. Is he your
Brother-in-law.
brother-in-law? Okay, brother-in-law, and with his Ford Bronco, which is pretty dang awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys were on your own YouTube trip this weekend.
Yeah.
So where'd you go?
Yeah, we hit Panamint Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never been out there before. We were on the east side the first night, and we went up, I think it's called Pleasant Canyon Loop,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one part with chicken corner and all that stuff that is dreadful. The other part of the loop is not so dreadful.
Right.
A little bit of pinstriping and stuff, but we camped there. It was beautiful. We were at a nice Vista. It was pretty
Saw
awesome.
some burros and little fox.
Yeah, that's
came
always
into
cool.
Camp at night, and
Yep.
it was cool.
Oh, cool, man. So you'll have a video coming out on that trip?
Yeah, for sure. We went up to there's a cabin at the top called World something cabin. It's not coming to me right now. Mike will have to put it, down in the bottom of the screen here. It's actually really well kept. It's one of those cabins. It's like it's worth to get up there and see it.
Yep.
And the trail is really nice. There's a big mining operation on the way up too. So Panamint Valley just has a ton to offer out here. Then yesterday we went on the west side and went into an abandoned mine that you had to kind of crawl to get into.
Right.
Once you're in, you could, both, I'm 6'4", you could stand up straight in there, and it was pretty awesome. A little
That's
creepy,
cool.
but pretty
We
awesome.
went 1,000 feet in and
Yeah,
didn't even hit the end yet.
yeah.
So I need to know this. How'd the Bronco do?
Great.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah.
Always.
It goes anywhere the Jeep can go.
Except sometimes it gets a third tire off the ground, but no. I mean, the cool thing about Death Valley, Panamint Valley, is the off-roading out here is not too much of crazy rock crawling. You're going to just some really great spots. You can get around the valley pretty quick.
Yep.
And on some of those just dirt open roads, what's fun?
Yeah.
And we were flying a drone yesterday. It's those big, long, open roads, and you can just get going 40, 45, 50 miles an hour with the dust trail behind you.
Yeah.
And when you're hitting that washboard, you're not even really feeling it like you do when you're going slower and you're,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. So that was fun. We had a
Very
great trip.
cool. Well, awesome, guys. Well, we'll put a link to the video down below or up above, and so look for that. And yeah, it's been a fun trip. It's funny that you caught us right at the end here last night. So, guys, we were just airing down, just about to leave after the air down to get to camp. And who comes on the radio?
Yes. Exactly.
Trail Newbie.
Yeah. Bringing up the rear.
And so, yeah, the perfect timing for them to catch us at the end of this trip. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Fred, for that. And we'll hope to see you again soon.
Yep.
All right, so guys, I'm with Ed, and man, Ed, this was an amazing trip. The group of people on this trip were just awesome. And what'd you think of the trail?
The trail was amazing. I'll say it was a great way. As you know, it's my first time in Death Valley. I had kind of a small idea of what I was gonna, get myself into and get us into.
Right.
But it just totally blew my mind. The things we saw, the surprises we encountered on the trail.
Yeah.
And I definitely appreciate you, and I'm thankful for you to be able to just kind of lead us through this and guide us through,
Oh, it was awesome. I was happy to do it, and with such a great group of people. And man, the weather was just great, guys. We had no issues on the trail, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw a lot of cool mine sites, starting with the first one. It was kind of sketchy getting in there, but
Very sketch.
we made it happen. So, yeah, it's been a great trip, and I really appreciate you putting these together for your Patreon group. And I highly recommend it. These are super fun trips. This is my first one, so I've had an amazing time. So hope to do some more with you soon.
And maybe you can just lead every one of them, because it just turns out so well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
It's been a great trip. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for an upcoming Part 3 video where I take a day hike to Darwin Falls with Greg and Fred in Death Valley National Park, and as part of that, highlight 3 different air-up systems for your vehicle, including Trail Newbie's new Kraken system. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and hope to see you guys on the trail someday.